The ship no one wanted Drillo worked in silence, wiping grease from his hands. The junkyard was quiet, just the way he liked it. Old ships stood around him like rusted giants, broken and forgotten. The scrapyard sat on the edge of a small moon called Unanine, where nobody came unless they needed scrap metal or wanted to disappear. Rilo was only 21, but he knew more about ships than most engineers in the central systems. He had grown up in the yard. His father was gone, his mother too. He lived alone with machines and silence. Until today. Something was different. He was digging through a mountain of twisted hull parts when his scanner beeped. A faint signal, energy that made no sense. This part of the yard had not been touched in years. Most of it was dead junk. Rilo moved deeper, pushing aside panels, metal sheets, and empty fuel tanks. Then he saw it, a ship half buried in the junk, covered in rust and dust, its body wide and round like an old freighter. But the design, it was strange. Too smooth, too advanced for something so dead. He walked closer and touched the outer shell. It felt warm. That was impossible. Ships like this did not hold power for thousands of years, unless Rilo pulled out his handheld scanner. The results made no sense. Power levels low, but present. Structure intact. Whole metal - unknown. He blinked. "Are you?" he whispered. Most people would call it junk, the kind of thing you melt down and forget. But something in Rilo's gut told him this was no ordinary wreck. He climbed inside. The door was stuck. He had to use a crowbar and strength. It groaned open with a loud hiss. Dust filled the air. Inside, it was perfect. Not new, not clean, but untouched. The panels were still in place. Seats still lined the walls. The control room glowed faintly, like a sleeping heart. Rilo sat in the pilot chair. It molded under him, fit him like it was built just for him. Then the screen. Lit up blue light flickered across the dashboard. Symbols appeared, some he knew, some in a language he had never seen. A calm, robotic voice echoed through the ship. Pilot detected. Identity scan in progress. Rilo froze. This ship was alive. DNA match. 87%. Pilot, lineage Earth, origin confirmed. Earth. That word was a ghost. Nobody talked about Earth anymore. The planet had vanished from politics, power, and memory. Rumors said it was destroyed. Others said it had hidden itself. Whatever the truth, Earth was a myth to most people now. Rilo's heart pounded. "I'm from Earth?" he asked, voice shaking. The ship responded. "Partial genetic match. Earth Defense Authority recognized. Protocol standby initiated." He stood up fast. "No, this is a mistake. I'm just a mechanic." But the ship did not agree. "Welcome back, pilot. System status, offline. Weapons disabled. Repair required." Reed stepped back, breathing hard. This wasn't a ship. This was something more, and he had just turned it on. Suddenly, his handheld comm buzzed. A message flashed across the screen. "Unauthorized energy reading detected near Sector 9. Security patrol. En route." Rilo's eyes widened. He wasn't supposed to power up ships without registration. If someone found him here inside this thing, they might take it. Or worse, he ran outside and tried to shut the door. But before he could, the ship spoke again. "Do not leave, pilot. You are now part of the system." The door closed on its own. Locked. The lights inside began to brighten. Systems warmed up. Control panels opened. The engine core glowed faint blue. Outside, he heard engines, a drone scout. Maybe two, they were coming. Rilo looked around, panic growing in his chest. "What are you?" he shouted at the dashboard. The ship responded with one final message. "I am not what they think I am. They called me scrap, but I was made for war." Then the front window lit up, showing the outside. Two drone ships hovered nearby, scanning, targeting. One of them armed its weapon. Rilo sat frozen and deep in the ship. Something woke up. A low hum filled the chamber. Something old, something powerful. The screen flashed. Defense mode activated. Asterisk, strange systems and hidden warnings. Rilo sat in the pilot chair, heart racing. Outside, the two patrol drones hovered silently, their red sensors glowing like angry eyes. Inside, the mysterious ship, the one everyone had called junk, was waking. Up, one of the drones charged its weapon. The ship reacted first, without Rilo touching anything. A shield snapped into place with a loud hum. Blue light spread across the windows. Like a thin wall of energy, the patrol drone fired. The blast hit the shield. No damage. The ship didn't fire back. It was waiting. Rilo stared at the control screen. It had changed. Now there was a long list of options: weapon controls, navigation, system logs, and something called memory core access. He reached out with shaking fingers and tapped the logs. Lines of data filled the screen. Date: year 9182, Earth Defense. Project 12X, warship classified model, Xenon Kai. He whispered the name, Xenon Kai. The logs continued. Purpose: last generation stealth warship, autonomous AI guidance, human pilot optional, engine, Corafusion X7, weapons, quantum pulse, plus adaptive barrage system. Rilo leaned back, stunned. The ship was real. It wasn't scrap, it wasn't junk. It was a war machine, possibly the last of its kind. He tapped into the AI system. A soft voice responded, smooth and calm. "Pilot Rilo, welcome. I am Xenon Kai. This unit has waited 1,326 years for activation. Purpose: defense of Earth and its descendants." Rilo's mouth went dry. Earth doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. The AI paused, then spoke again, confirmed. Earth signal is offline. Searching for alternate human colonies. Signal found. Genetic match. You. Rilo shook his head. "I'm no soldier. I'm just a junkyard tech." "But," Xenon Kai replied without emotion, "you are what remains." Rilo stood up. The room felt too small, too alive. He looked around, breathing fast. Why was this ship left here? Why did no one find it? Xenon Kai answered, "After the fall of Earth, this unit was hidden in civilian scrapyard sectors to avoid enemy scans. Cloak system engaged. Systems offline until pilot match detected." Rilo stepped closer to the window. The drones outside had stopped firing. They were waiting, likely sending images back to central control. He knew they would return with more. He had to decide, run or fly. He turned back to the console. What happens if I activate weapons? Warning: activation will reveal power signature. Possible military response from local governments. Risk high, Rilo sighed. And if I do nothing, this unit will remain passive. You will be captured. He hesitated, then sat down. All right. Show me the ship's full systems. The dashboard lit up. Dozens of hidden panels slid open around the room. Weapon controls, stealth systems, tactical shields, Rilo didn't know what half of it meant, but he felt it. This ship wasn't meant to be flown by a soldier. It was built for someone willing to protect, even alone. Just then, a red light blinked on the panel. Incoming signal. Message override. Moon Patrol Authority. Rilo pressed accept. A gruff voice spoke. Unregistered ship in restricted salvage zone. You are ordered to shut down all systems and exit immediately. This is your final warning. Rilo swallowed hard. Xenon Kai asked, "Pilot, decision." He looked down at his hands, dirty, cracked, full of old burns from years of working with broken machines. Now he was sitting inside one of the most advanced ships ever built. Everyone had called it junk. Everyone. Except him. He pressed a single button. "Let's show them what scrap can do," Xenon Kai responded. Weapons online. The ship hummed, smooth, silent, deadly. Outside, the patrol drones moved. Inside, the ship prepared, but before firing, Xenon said one more thing. Warning, this ship was designed for war. Once we are seen, the galaxy will remember Earth, and they may fear what they forgot. Rilo nodded slowly. Then let them remember. The attack that changed everything. The patrol drones moved in. 2 more arrived, making for now. They formed a circle around the junkyard, aiming their weapons directly at the strange ship buried in the scrap piles. Inside, Rilo sat frozen in the pilot chair. His fingers hovered above the controls. He had never flown a real warship, never fired anything stronger than a welding laser. And yet, the ship felt alive beneath him. Ready, calm. Xenon Kai spoke again in its smooth voice. Multiple targets detected. Weak offensive power. Defense systems activated. Awaiting your command. Outside, a loud voice came through that comes again. Unregistered vessel warning. You have 10 seconds to shut down all power or face destruction. Rilo didn't speak. He didn't move. He simply whispered, "Do it." Xenon Kai responded instantly, engaging defense protocol. A sudden flash of blue light burst from the ship's hull. It was not a weapon, it was a shield, but not like anything the drones had ever seen. The drones fired. Beams of red light shot toward the ship. They hit the shield and vanished. Number. Sparks. No damage. Just silence. Rilo's eyes widened. "How?" Xenon Kai replied. "Advanced energy dispersion. Their weapons are useless." Rilo looked out the window. The drones stopped for a moment, confused. Then one of them launched a missile. It raced toward the ship. Xenon Kai didn't wait. With a low hum, it fired a single thin beam of white light. The missile exploded mid-air. The nearest drone was caught in the blast, torn into shreds. Rilo's heart raced. "That wasn't even your main weapon, was it?" "Correct," the ship replied. "Minimal force applied." The other 3 drones retreated slightly, pulling back into a higher orbit. But they weren't leaving. They were scanning Rilo. Understood instantly. They're sending the footage. They've already called for reinforcements. Confirmed. 2 heavy attack cruisers approaching from Sector 2. Estimated arrival, 3 minutes. Rilo clenched his jaw. "Then we finish this fast." He reached forward and pressed the weapon control button. Dozens of small weapon ports opened across the ship's hull. He selected the drones. "Target, disable, no kill." Xenon Kai responded. "Targeting, locked, firing pulse." Blue lights flashed across the sky. All 3 drones were hit clean, perfect shots. Their engines died. They spun, powerless. Into the dirt below. No explosions, just silence. Then came the signal. Critical planetary defense, alert class 7, anomaly detected. Unidentified Earth warship active. All units respond. The message spread fast. Across the nearby systems, spaceports lit up with alarm. News broadcasts picked up the images. A ship once thought to be dead was flying again, and worse, it was human. On the planet Veltrax, a government commander stared at the footage, eyes wide. "That is an Earth ship," he whispered. "I thought they were all gone." His advisor replied, "If this thing is flying again, what else might be out there?" Back in the junkyard, Rilo sat in silence. He had just brought Earth's secret weapon back to life. He didn't want war, but war was coming anyway. Xenon Kai spoke. "Enemy cruisers arriving in 60 seconds. Heavy weapon systems unlocked. Shall we engage?" Rilo hesitated. These weren't drones. These were real warships. People would die. But if he did nothing, they'd take the ship. "And him?" he asked quietly. "Can we disable them without destroying them?" "Possible. Low success rate." "Suggestion? Evade." Rilo nodded. "All right then. Show me how fast you can fly." Outside, the ground shook. Engines roared to life deep, powerful, and unlike anything in the system. The junk piles exploded outward as Xenon Kai rose into the sky. For the first time in over 1,000 years, the ship flew, smooth, fast, silent. The enemy cruisers arrived just as Xenon Kai disappeared into the clouds. They scanned, they fired, they missed. Xenon Kai was already gone into space, vanishing like a ghost. And across the stars, one truth was now known: the warship they all called Scrap had come back to life, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk. Earth's final weapon, Revia-led Xenon Kai, flew quietly through deep space. No sound, no trail, no light, only silence. Inside the cockpit, Relo sat alone, staring at the stars. He had just escaped to cruisers, destroyed patrol drones, and brought an ancient warship back to life. But now, he needed answers. He tapped the screen. "Xenon," he said, voice calm but firm. "What are you?" The ship responded. "I am Earth Defense Project 12X, codename Xenon Kai, final model of war-ready stealth class vessels, built to protect Earth and its legacy." Rilo leaned forward. "Then why were you left in a junkyard?" There was a pause. Then the screen showed an old video. Grainy, dusty, human engineers standing in front of Xenon Kai during construction. One man stepped forward. His face was tired, his eyes dark. He spoke directly to the camera. "If this message is seen, Earth has fallen or vanished. This ship is not just a weapon, it is a choice. It will not respond to governments or armies, only to those who carry Earth's values. Someone who protects, not conquers. Someone who remembers, not rewrites." The video ended. Rilo blinked slowly. "Earth is gone," confirmed, Xenon Kai replied. "Planet Earth was lost 783 years ago. Cause: internal collapse. Survivors scattered across colonies." Rilo's chest tightened. His father had once spoken of Earth like a fairy tale, a place of oceans, trees, and skies without domes. But now he knew it was real and gone. He stood up and walked across the cockpit. "How did I activate you?" he asked. "Your DNA matches an unbroken Earth lineage. You carry Peaceborn code. Peaceborn. Yes, Earth divided its people near the end, those made for war, and those for rebuilding. You carry the second kind. Relo looked at his hands. He was just a junk tech, a mechanic. He had never fired a weapon before yesterday. Now he was flying. A ship designed to end wars, Xenon Kai continued. You were chosen not because you were strong, but because you understand value. You see broken things and try to fix them. Rilo sat down again, his voice softer. I didn't fix you, but you tried, the ship replied. That is enough. The room fell quiet. Then a red alert flashed. On the screen, message intercepted. Galactic Council, emergency meeting. Human warship, sighting, confirmed. All factions preparing response. Rilo's eyes widened. They know. Confirmed. You are now marked as an active military threat. Orders will follow. Rilo swallowed hard. Can we hide? Not forever. My signal is old, but powerful. They will come. Rilo nodded slowly. Then we tell the truth first. He looked around. Can you record a message? Broadcast it wide. Yes. Rilo stood tall, staring into the recording lens. My name is Rilo. I'm a mechanic, not a soldier. I found this ship in a scrapyard, and I did what I always do. Tried to fix what others threw away. But this ship, it fixed me. He paused. It's not a weapon of war. It's a memory of Earth. A warning and a promise. I didn't steal it. It chose me, and I won't use it to destroy. But I will defend. I will protect. And if anyone tries to erase the truth again, this ship will answer. The message sent across space. Stations received it. Some laughed, some panicked, but others listened. On a mining colony in the Outer Rim, a young girl stared at the screen. He sounds like Earth, she said softly. In a war room on Veltrax, generals debated what to do. One officer said, we need to capture him, but the admiral shook his head. No, he said. We need to remember. We destroyed the past, and it's coming back. Back in deep space. Xenon Kai floated near a gas giant. The stars shimmered. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time in centuries, it remembered Earth. But this time, Earth wasn't coming in peace. It was coming in defense. The galaxy watches him rise. The warship, Xenon Kai, floated quietly in the shadow of a gas giant. For a moment, the stars seemed to pause. The galaxy held its breath. Then they came. Dozens of ships, big ones, small ones, fast ones, heavy ones. A combined fleet from 5 major powers surrounded the ancient warship, silent, dark, and still marked as scrap in old databases. Inside, Rilo stood calmly at the pilot chair. He had sent his message. He had told the truth. But truth, he learned, was not enough now. He had to show them. The comms panel lit up. A loud voice barked through the speakers. Unregistered vessel, Xenon Kai. You are surrounded. Surrender the ship and power down immediately. This is not a request. Rilo looked up at the stars, tiny lights in a cold, silent sky. Then he whispered, they still don't understand. Xenon Kai responded, you hold command, Rilo. I am ready. Orders. He thought about it. He didn't want war, but he would not let the past be buried again. He spoke clearly. No kill shots, no death, just wake them up. Understood, said Xenon Kai. Disabling sequence prepared. The enemy ships moved in. Their captains still believed they were dealing with stolen tech. A lone pilot, a glitch from the past. They were wrong. Xenonkai came to life. Blue light surged across its hull. Its shields turned golden. Its engines burned. White dot, and then, without firing a single missile it struck, a wave of invisible energy burst from the ship's core. The nearest warship shut down instantly. Engines off, lights dead, floating like a rock. The others tried to lock on, tried to fire, but Xenonkai moved too fast. It blinked from one place to another, appearing behind targets, beside them, above them, each time. A soft pulse, each time another warship dropped. Not broken, not burned, just disabled. The enemy captains panicked. This isn't possible. One screamed, "This thing is alive." Shouted another, in under 3 minutes. 25 ships were left powerless. No deaths, no wreckage, just silence. Then came the signal, a single sentence, broadcast galaxy-wide. This was once called scrap, but now it is called memory. On every major world, the message played. Children in schools watched soldiers in bunkers, froze. Leaders in high towers sat speechless, and the people remembered something they had long forgotten. Humanity was not gone. It had only gone quiet, and now its voice had returned in the form of a young mechanic and a ship built from legends. Rilo stared out the window. He felt no joy, no power, only peace. He had defended the truth, and the galaxy had listened. Back on his home moon, people gathered around old screens and whispered his name. Rilo, the boy from the junkyard. Rilo, the one who flew the Earthship. No more patrols came. No more fleets, just silence and respect. Later that day, Xenonkai asked, "What is our mission now?" Relo smiled softly, "To protect the truth, and whoever carries it." Weeks passed. Relo began visiting old world's places. Once tied to Earth, he taught, not ruled, helped, not harmed. He became a symbol, not of war, but of memory, and it became the most feared ship in